Parent Entrepreneur Power, conversation number 237.
Parent Entrepreneur Power.
Wait, what? It's Mama Power!
This is the podcast for parents juggling the tough choices required for success in business while putting family first. Hi, I'm Mary Catherine Johnson, and I share the ups and downs and dirty truths of profits and potty training while chatting with successful parent entrepreneurs from all walks of life. Are you powered up? Hey there, Power Parents. You know who I am, MKJ, and you are listening to Parent Entrepreneur Power, as if you didn't know that. And we are going to dive in to another amazing conversation because I am having way too much fun bringing these to you. And I sincerely hope, based on your feedback, I sincerely hope that you are getting as much value as I am when I get to chat with these people. So welcome to the conversation today, Brian Greenberg. And he is the author of The Salesman Who Doesn't Sell, a marketing guide to selling while you sleep. I think I need that. Hey, Brian, how you doing?
Hey, very good, Mary. Thanks for having me on.
You are so welcome. Thank you for joining me and sharing the mic. Okay, so all right, we got to do that because selling while you sleep is kind of the whole acronym for scaling and online digital marketing and not trading hours for dollars and all those kinds of things. So we'll get into that in a second, which I'm really excited to do. But we got to start where we start with everybody, which is, how did you get into this whole thing? Tell me your once upon a time story. How were you a parent and an entrepreneur at the same time?
Well, I've been an entrepreneur since, I guess, 2002, all right? And I come from a family who, look, my father was an entrepreneur, all my grandparents, my uncles, and I majored in entrepreneurship in college. And look, Amazon was coming along and selling on the internet just seemed incredible to me. So out of college, I got a job for an internet marketing company here in Arizona, and I started putting up e-commerce websites, and I've been selling online ever since. And, look, the internet provides the opportunity to build up passive income. Now, 4 years ago, my son came along, Samuel. He's 4 years old now. And he's wonderful. And I should even say that my wife, she stopped working at her job and she actually works with me now. So I got a complete family business.
Yay! So you got to retire your wife. That's one of my biggest dreams, is to retire my husband, but he keeps fighting it. I just don't get it. He keeps wanting to do what he loves to do. So I guess I don't get to retire him for a while.
No, well, she's not retired, Mary. She works a lot. She's
retired from working for someone else.
Yeah.
Now she gets to work for you. Wow. Okay, so your son is then, you said, 4 years old, right?
Yeah.
Wow. So, but you've been doing this since 2002.
Mm-hmm.
So you've beat me by a year. I started in 2003.
All right. Look, that was when it was all starting online, right?
And it was e-commerce. Yeah. I did the same thing. I think that was the easiest entry, to be honest, to start with. What was your first product that you sold?
My father was a distributor for a company that sold touch-free restroom supplies. Back in the day, the automatic toilet flushers and the faucets and the whole thing. And I built a website for him called touchfreeconcepts.com. And, we started doing a lot of business. I remember we did $12,000 a month. And I said, you know what? I don't think there's more business out there. I couldn't fathom it. And then 2 years later, we're doing $100,000 a month in revenue.
Oh, my gosh.
So it exploded a little bit. And we expanded into janitorial supplies. And, over the years, I probably started too many businesses, Mary. And that's one of the things I learned is, you got to kind of keep it down to maybe 1 to 3 businesses. Anything past that is just diminishing returns.
Yeah, because you only have so much time and energy and focus to be able to spend on anything. Otherwise, somebody else has to run it for you anyway, and you're just a name on the profit share, the profit and loss statement. Okay, so I got to go back to that because that you hit on a point that I think a lot of us struggle with, and that is you hit $10,000 a month. First off, you just built the website for them. So What
No,
did
I marketed it too. So
okay.
we had a custom e-commerce shopping cart. That's kind of what you had to do back
Yep, we
then.
did.
And Google was the Wild West, and I
Yep.
started playing that game, and getting links, and sometimes paying for links, and we found ourselves, just bringing in all this organic traffic, Mary.
Same. That's exactly how I did it. I started with I started my site in November. I actually launched it November 2003. And I think that first Christmas, because it was a maternity, I did maternity shirts. I was the first online maternity store. And I made all kinds of fun, novelty maternity shirts. That first year, that first month, I think I made like $3,500, which was
Nice.
like, what? I just
know.
put up this, it did a heck of a lot of work, right, beforehand.
Yeah,
But it was like so easy, really, really easy. Very, very strange, very different from today.
I know.
But okay, so you built that, you helped with marketing, and then you said you reached 10,000 a month, and you couldn't fathom.
I didn't know
Going
that many
beyond that.
people were out there looking for these products, but
So
I
how
guess
did
more
you-
people kept coming. Oh, sorry.
How
Mary, go
did
ahead.
no? I'm sorry. That's cool. How did you go from that 10,000 a month and that mindset of there aren't any more people to 100,000 a month? I mean, and how long? First off, how long did that take to go from 10 grand to 100 grand a month?
It was about maybe 8 months, but it was a steady increase,
Wow.
right, Mary?
Yeah.
Our rankings kept going up in Google was one thing. And then we started getting a lot of large orders too, because we were kind of the only people selling it. We were probably selling it less expensive than what they can get locally from, the local plumbers or facility guys. So we were getting airports and schools and just churches. So we found ourselves getting a lot of orders, a lot of repeat orders. And yeah, the more traffic, just the more business we got.
So even though you had that mindset issue of 10 grand, that's got to be the cap. How can we go further than that? And 8 months later, with obviously that has to be a pretty steady, rise in that wonderful little graph that we all would love to have, to 100 grand a month. Was there any? So you obviously weren't the only one running this business. I mean, other people were involved. I take it.
To start, it was my father and me. All right. So
go ahead.
I was going to say, look, a business like that, you could run, with very little people. I remember we had a 1-800 number. And when people called in, it would say, press 1 for customer service, press 2 for technical support, but 3 to, place an order online. They all went to me, Mary. It was, and it was funny. People are they're still very impressed when somebody calls and they talk to a real person, from an online to a real person. And we started gathering reviews too, which is another thing that we did that I think was unique back in the day. We started collecting thousands of reviews. So people would come to our site to research. They'd see all the reviews. So our conversion rate was way higher than competitors because of reviews, I think.
Right. Wow. So, but seriously though, it sounds like it was you didn't necessarily go out and find these accounts. They came to you because of the search ability, the high ranking in search, the reviews, the fact that you were doing business. So you really didn't have to get over any kind of mindset issues because it just happened organically, right? You just were on along for the ride.
I cast a net and they found me. And even today, Mary, I sell, I have a company that sells life insurance online. And we sell thousands of policies, and they they put me on the cover of a magazine. They called me the salesman who doesn't sell, because I've sold thousands of policies but never met with a person face to face.
Yeah. So that's it. So, all right, let's get into this then. So tell me about this book. So author of The Salesman Who Doesn't Sell, a marketing guide to selling while you sleep. So this is a marketing guide, and everyone who's listening, Power Parents, I've said this before. If you own a business, you are a salesperson. If you've started a business, if you're an entrepreneur, you are a salesperson. You are the salesperson for your business. You can hire people, that's great. But if you're the one that started it, you better damn well know why you're doing it and what's the best benefits of what it is you're doing. So marketing and sales go hand in hand. How can you, or tell me where this came from in the sense of marketing and selling while you sleep?
Really kind of what I want to teach in the book is how to build trust. I think that's one of the main things that closes the sale, really, and allows you to sell without needing to really sell them, if you will, over the phone or face to face. So, the other thing is I really preach to people, run a business that's honest, ethical, and transparent. Now, the thing is to know how to leverage that. All right. So if you leverage that into gaining reviews, similar to how Amazon really did, but if you keep gaining reviews, answering all the questions that they may have, right? So I'm sure you run into this, Mary. People may want to know what the return policy is or what the shipping policy is, all these things. I remember when I started just giving tracking information right away, like 30% of my customer service calls went away.
Yeah, right.
So, as they go through, if you could answer their questions, build up the trust. We have like Norton Guarantee Seals, Better Business Bureau, Google Business. They know they can trust us. That's what it's about. It's about leveraging that, increasing your conversion rates. And look, people are more apt to link to you, and you're more apt to rank in the search engines, or even, on Facebook or Yelp, any of these places. The more reviews you build up, it could really explode your business.
Yeah. So really what you're talking about is what we all learn every day and have learned about and tried to implement every day, and that is basically digital marketing. Being able to use this internet to our advantage, and all the tools that we have out there that will help us grow our business without us having to personally handle every single thing. Mm-hmm. I've got to ask you something. These two things that you just mentioned are, to me, oxymorons. They are opposites. And you mentioned honest isn't an opposite, but transparent, having the customer service, all those kinds of things. I don't think of life insurance in that way.
Oh,
I gotta tell you.
I know. That's what sets us apart.
Yeah, I hate life insurance. I hate any insurance. I totally do. That industry has been ruined for me because of all those people that don't do it the way you do. So right now, even just saying the words life insurance, you've got a huge hurdle to get over for me, right? If I'm your customer looking for it. How do you do that?
Look, I separate myself. The worse my competition is, the better it is for me, right?
Got it.
So, look, over the years, I've seen people that, run business the wrong way, especially online. They drop off. I end up surviving. I play the long-term game. So even when they come to my website, they'll see the reviews, yes. But I'll let them run quotes without entering in their name, email, or phone. Because that's the worst part of it, is when you just run a quote, and then the next thing you know, you're inundated with emails and phone calls from multiple agents.
Yeah.
So we're nice to them right off the bat. We're giving them something. We're kind of invoking the theory of reciprocity. We're building up a good relationship right then and there. So, yeah, that's a great way to separate yourself, especially if other people in the industry have a bad reputation.
Yeah. But so how do I, if I'm going to even think about, and I can't even... just to even contemplate searching for life insurance online, I would just automatically put that off for as long as I possibly could, because of the fact that I know I'm going to wade through all kinds of junk. So I understand what you're saying now, that reviews and search and all those other parts of the online world are working for you, so that I'm assuming you come to the top.
Yes. Mary, I'm sorry. What was your question again, Mary?
It was just that so you're using that. That's one of the reasons I think you can bring us that kind of value, is because if you can do that for life insurance, which is for me something awful to think about. Truly, I absolutely hate insurance. Don't even get me started on health insurance. I really can't even. Okay. I can't even. I'll be spitting bricks here in a minute.
I got you.
But if you could do that for life insurance, and be successful and have that touchy-feely kindness, reciprocity, abundance, all those kinds of things that we look for in online business. If you can do that there, I think, somebody out in the audience can learn quite a bit from what you're doing. So what would be what is one thing, you've talked about reviews, what is one tangible thing someone listening in the audience can take away and go, okay, here is a marketing strategy I can use in my business?
It's an interesting thing. It's called barnacle SEO. Barnacle SEO is attaching yourself to a larger entity and let that bring in resources. So for anyone starting out, any small business, especially if you're local, it's important to get on some of these third-party websites like Yelp or Google Business, or it could be Etsy, anything that's relative to your industry, to get onto there. And then the same thing, Mary, is build up the reviews. I think, look, when I go and I'm looking for a service, I'll go to Yelp and I'm going to pick the person with the most reviews for two reasons. All right, number one, they have great reviews. But second, they have accountability, right? So if they don't do a good job, I know that I can give them a bad review, and I know that they don't not want that. So you kind of have that extra guarantee, a recourse to make sure that you get a good experience.
Wow.
Barnacle SEO.
Yeah, I have never heard of that word, barnacle SEO. I just have not even heard it, and it absolutely makes sense. So you're talking, this doesn't have to be just a local business that does that. This can be even an online service-based business. Let's say you're a coach or you're a course creator or anything like that. You could use that same idea, right?
Yeah, and look, they're third party, right, as well. So look, you can collect reviews all day long on your website. The question is, do people believe it, right? Because you can display them or not display them. They can be true or not true. But on a third party website like the Better Business Bureau or any of these we just mentioned, you can't get it taken down. If someone gives you a bad review, you don't have much recourse.
Yeah.
I think some people say, well, I can call them or I can get a lawyer. And it doesn't work. So it's very important not to get in a fight online over a review. What I always tell people is fix it right away. Play the victim. Let them know how much this hurts you. Yeah. I'm willing to take a loss to get someone to take down a review. And if I'm so nice to them that if they don't take it down, it's like karmically bad for them.
Totally. And everyone sees the interaction between you and this person and sees everything you've tried to do to fix it, and they're still not willing. Yeah, that says more than anything else. Yeah. So, okay. So I know a lot of our listeners are digital entrepreneurs, online entrepreneurs. If you're trying to create an online course, you're doing coaching, you're providing a service, Facebook ads, social media marketing, VA services, whatever it might be. Other things, you don't have to necessarily, you're looking at this going, but Mary, I've never, Yelp? I mean, that's what my skincare person does, where I go get my facial, or, if I go get my car repaired. How do I use that? So do you have any other suggestions? I can talk about it, and it's basically what we're doing right now, being interviewed on podcasts. That's a third party, right? So you're going to be referred back to your website from mine. And not to say I'm a more higher ranking than you, but the more higher ranking links you have back into your site basically does the same thing. Is that right?
Yeah, look, the more links you get, the higher you're going to rank in Google. And it's the number one, in my opinion, it's the number one ranking factor. Some people say content is slowly taking it over. I think it's links, because if you have a strong website due to links, any content you put up is going to rank well.
Yeah. And as many people as you can to link back to your site, and it just gives you that boost, definitely. So here you go, Power Parents. That's it. You've heard before people who listen to this show and come in and actually comment and bring value and provide information and help the audience. They get chosen to come on the show and be interviewed, and that will help them boost their business because of those links coming back to their site, and they are seen as an expert. You're listening to Brian. He is obviously an expert and has a track record for it. So he will have links on any of the podcast interviews he's done back to his site. I'm telling you, podcasting, because it's growing tremendously right now, if you are any kind of an expert in your field and you're not trying to get on podcasts, you are missing a huge opportunity. Yeah. Would you agree?
I completely agree. Look, in 2012, Google came out with this Penguin and Panda updates, and they kind of wiped out all the black hat, if you will,
Yeah.
SEO tactics. So look, if you start a business, I'm sure you get a lot of emails from people out of the country and, saying, oh, join my private blog network, or let me start doing forum posts, or let me sell you some links. Don't do it. All right. Will Reynolds, the owner of Sear Interactive, he did this beautiful speech where he said, from now on, you should only do real company stuff. And he used the profanity, but RCS, real company stuff. If it's not something that a real company would do, don't do it. All right. And you're absolutely right. I have a book, but these podcasts are wonderful because of the links. They're natural links. And yes, look, I've been doing this for a couple months and I've already seen boosts in all my websites. So it's a real company stuff, and absolutely it helps.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay. And so this leads right into as well creating your network and attaching yourself, or at least associating yourself with like minds and people who are maybe a few steps ahead of you. Okay. And I am here to tell you that works if you do it authentically. And I really appreciate, Brian, I really appreciate you talking about being authentic and actually doing real business things. Not just so many people, they just look and go, okay, I'm going to send 20 cold emails to this list of people, and I'm just going to see in the conversion rate, I should get maybe 2%. And I'm like, dude, stop. These are people you're sending messages to, not just 20 cold emails. They're people. They're humans. Speak to them as humans, not as a cold email that you're trying to get something from. So do you have any experience that you can share with something like that?
You know what? If anyone comes to your site and you collect their email, especially if they bought something, you have their email. All right. So take advantage of some software out there. I use ActiveCampaign. So I'll run sales, whatever it may be. I can set up automated emails. So I basically have to set it up one time, and I can send, a series of emails, a drip email, and it's wonderful, right? So, there's the theory that if you get 1,000 email addresses, 1,000 followers, you have a business, right? So email is a wonderful way. Cold emails is a terrible way, and Google cracked down on that, right? So you'll find yourself in the spam folder. Don't do it. But yeah, ActiveCampaign, MailChimp, absolutely tie that into anything that you're doing. And if you're not collecting email addresses, my goodness, I remember the gentleman who cuts my hair doesn't collect email addresses, and I even phone numbers. But he finally started doing it, and I get texts from him. Hey, it's been 4 weeks. You should come in. This guy, it's incredible. So yeah, get their information, and even stuff like ActiveCampaign, you could text them too. So texting is a nice thing too, as long as it's short.
Yeah. Well, and you're getting into my world right there, because that's exactly what Messenger is all about. Facebook Messenger marketing. We do the exact same thing as ActiveCampaign, but in Facebook Messenger. And I think the best part about that, Brian, that I love that you talked about was these are people who've already visited your site and basically put their name in the hat saying, I'm interested in what you have to say. And from there, ActiveCampaign will help you build a relationship with them and give them even more value and help them see even deeper into your world and what you can provide for them. So yes, that's what it's all about. And Power Parents, I'm not saying anything new. We've been talking about this many times. Brian, I don't know. I don't think you know about this, or I know you've listened to a couple of episodes, but we call ourselves Power Parents because if we've gotten a kid through potty training, business is really nothing. We can handle business, right?
Yeah.
You've been there, right? You know what potty training's like?
Yeah.
Sounds like you might have a little fun story around that. I don't know. But so a 4-year-old, he's getting ready to start school soon, at least like kindergarten kind of stuff. Is that right?
Yeah, he's in pre-K. We've been sending him to preschool, so we feel like, he got to jump on it. And he loves school. That's the nice thing. He's a real sociable little young guy, so he loves school, and yeah, pre-K, we bought him a backpack and school supplies, and it was so cute, just so cute.
It's just the best. Seeing all these little pictures now, because, of course, we're in the fall, guys. So we're coming up to the fall. We're at the end of summer when we're recording this. And that's what I keep seeing is all little pictures in my Facebook feed of all the little kids going off to their little first day of school. It is so fun. Thankfully, I don't have that anymore. I'm definitely in my exit strategy, and the kids are kind of taking care of themselves nowadays, so it's very different. We have no more of the backpack pictures. Sorry, just don't. But that's okay. We have other pictures now,
Yeah.
and it all happens when it needs to. Okay, so marketing and selling in your sleep. Is there anything else? And I'm so glad you're giving us real tactics, human tactics, authentic tactics to help us grow our businesses. Is there anything else that you would suggest we do to, again, be the salesman who doesn't sell and market and sell in our sleep?
Yeah, I'd like to give a couple. So, number one, you'll go out and try to find someone who's an expert. So, that's an option. Find a pro. I love to use a site called Upwork. Upwork, you can post the project, find somebody, again, who has good reviews, who's accountable. It's a third party. So don't go outside of Upwork. Some people will say, oh, pay me outside. Don't do it. All right, because you have a guarantee if you do from Upwork. If you're going to do research, okay, if you're going to do research on Yelp, like you said, or SEO, make sure you read recent articles. So on Google, there's a little drop down that says, only read articles within the past year. Because I'll get some people call me and they'll start talking about Alexa ratings, and that hasn't been a very important thing since 2009. So make sure you read something recent. A good introduction to SEO is Moz.com, Moz.com. They have what's called the Beginner's Guide to SEO. I don't know, it's like 15 pages. It's kind of written in layman's terms. It'll give you the overview you need to manage somebody, all right, or do it yourself. And lastly, Mary, use a platform, all right? So it's a lot easier now to start. So an e-commerce website, use Shopify, all right? That's the biggest one out there. If you have a lot of products and you have a lot of categories and you're running off a database, BigCommerce. Now, I've hit my head against the wall many times trying to build customized e-commerce platforms. I'm done with that. I spent enough money doing that. I'm on BigCommerce now. So use one of these platforms once you get started.
Awesome. Yes. And each of those things that you talked about, I love it. Upwork, definitely. Another one's called FreeUp, FREEEUP. So there's 3 E's in there. So freeup.com. Lots of VA sites that you can use, but obviously, ask around, make sure there's someone that you feel comfortable with, or someone who's maybe used someone there. And yes, shopping carts and all that stuff, we don't have to build those anymore. Thank goodness. They're all built for us. And there's lots and lots of services and apps and all kinds of other add-ons that you don't have to think about. So like MailChimps and all those kinds of things, those can help you. They're already built into a lot of these platforms, so that you don't have to learn them all. All you have to do is dump your content in there, and they'll help you walk you through it. There's lots of different apps on Shopify, obviously, and BigCommerce both, that'll really help you, again, sell in your sleep, because that's what we all want to do. We would all love to not have to, the old proverb of, it's not a proverb, but it might as well be nowadays, making money while you're on the beach. Okay. No, we do want to actually live life, but yes, we do want to make money without it having to cost our time. It'll cost your time up front, but if you build it right, you'll be able to reap the rewards without your time. That is awesome. All right. So Brian, there might be some people in the audience that are kind of, I don't know. They're going, yes, okay, this sounds amazing. I can do this. But they might be rocking back and forth on the fence going, gosh, should I really jump into this whole entrepreneurial pool? Or should I just kind of stay in my job and maybe just do a little side hustle thing? They're not sure. And they're rocking back and forth on that fence. What would you say to them? Either to jump in or stay or research or whatever. What would you say to that person who's rocking back and forth and wants to do it, but they're not quite ready?
I love the idea of a side hustle. Keep your job, but on the side, start researching and go for it. Look, starting up selling on the internet, especially, it's not expensive, right? So set some money aside, do it. I always want people to incorporate. I think that's like the first official thing that I want people to take that first step. form an LLC. All right. You can go online. It costs like $600, or you can go to, your Secretary of State. It costs maybe like $250. Then it's official. Get a bank account, get a business credit card. That'll start getting the wheels turning. Right. And I don't know, Robert Kawasaki, he wrote that book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He definitely preached that, it's time to quit your job once your side job can support you. So I don't want to tell people to quit their job. I don't want that responsibility, Mary.
No, but that's fantastic. Yes, that's how I started. That's how almost everyone I know started. We didn't go and find some VC funding and just, jump right out the gate. That comes with its own headaches, I'm sure. But bootstrapping's the way I've always done it. So, wow. Okay. Thank you, Brian. I really have appreciated that you've spent this time with us. Where can people get in touch with you? I mean, you have several businesses, so there are probably different ones, and we can definitely put them on the show notes page so that people can go to that and be able to click straight through. But in the meantime, if someone was really intrigued by what you said and they want to connect with you personally, where should they go?
One of my main business websites is truebluelifeinsurance.com. If they want to see my personal website, it's brianjgreenberg.com. And Mary, I'd like to give all your listeners a free audiobook, and they can get that on brianjgreenberg.com/PEPower.
Yay. We love free stuff. Yes, we do. And we even love it more when it's geared straight to us. So yay. All right. brianjgreenberg.com/PEPower. Thank you so much. I so appreciate this time. And, we're going to have to talk about how many businesses you got going on so that we can have you back to represent maybe one of the others pretty soon, and maybe the next book. Who knows?
It'll be my pleasure, Mary.
To get powered up for your day, just go to parentepower.com and listen to the over 200 episodes we have so far with amazing entrepreneurs just like you. It might just help you feel like a grown-up again.